Good evening. Good.
Good evening. How are you, sir? Very last month I met you at Sri Lanka with my pleasure and my visits. And thank you for your hospitality extended during my visit to your office. It is very nice. It was very nice to meet you, to get the valuable information from Sri Lanka. And I hope your country is now developing the this currency value also. Since last April, I visited to Sri Lanka. Now the value of the currency has increased a little bit. I think so.
It has, but I think you have a long way to go.
Yeah.
But as you could have seen from your visit to Sri Lanka, that Sri Lanka is back to normal.
Yes.
The tourism is, and we anticipate that in January that we will cross the 100,000 mark in tourism, which is after a long period of time, because
Yeah.
we had a double hit with the Easter attacks, and then the COVID, and then with the Aragalay, or the struggle, the protest,
Yes.
which we saw in.
Yeah.
Um, but also, I think, as far as the exports are concerned, that there's a lot of export earnings which
Yeah.
the exporters are holding back. And I think that once they start bringing the proceeds back, once the macroeconomic
Yeah.
situation stabilizes, I would think that more and more the export earnings will come back.
Yes.
So but we are still at crossroads. But I think everybody says that even in your visit to Sri Lanka, so that there's certainly medium term and long term potential for the country.
Yes.
So I'm optimistic that 23 will be a year.
Yes, yes, yes. I also very happy to note that I received one message mail from Texas, the state of Texas, that one investor
Yeah,
has invested to invest in Sri Lanka. Recently, I received a mail as I was appointed as a recognized investors organizer for India by your
yeah,
BOI, Board of Investment.
yeah,
I received a mail from the foreigner that's from Texas. They are
yeah.
interested. That's very happy to note that they are keen watch the situation of Sri Lanka. And now I hope the investors are watching the environmental business. Environmental is growing up, and especially the
Yeah.
political stability. That's very important to invest in Sri Lanka, right, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. The current government under Ranil Wickremesinghe has shown political stability, and I
Yeah.
think it has been it's the government led by a center-right politician, and but the majority of the MPs who are backing him are center-left politicians. So there's a good balance,
Okay.
and I think the policy-wise also it'll be a bit of a more easier sell when there's a concession, and the president also been talking about not just short-term measures that we would need to talk, but things such as how we can reach out to the Tamil diaspora, how we can find the lasting solutions with pertaining to the ethnic issue. He
Yeah.
has been talking about power. He has been talking about setting up a office for overseas Sri Lankans, which the foreign ministry is closely working with the presidential secretariat, and the foreign ministry also has been looking at the truth and reconciliation commission, or mechanism, how hard it may seem that we need to put our past behind and move forward. So it's a good starting point. There's a lot of progress being made in all front, but I'm also particularly happy with the economic progress which we have been making, saying the reforms which we are going to bring about. Some of them are quite painful. The public sector, cost-based pricing, and also the reforms in the state-owned enterprises, particularly pertaining to the unprofitable ones. So some of these changes, reforms will be very painful. But I think we have a public sector of about 1.6 million, which is in over abundance of the requirement. So these reforms needs to be done in order for us to move forward. I also feel that there has been a lot of interest in Sri Lanka from the investment front, but also there's a lot of potential for Sri Lanka to integrate with the southern Indian states.
Yes.
There's a lot of development in the southern Indian states. Now, take for example, Nadu. Tamil Nadu has a thriving IT industry, and also all the large car manufacturers are based in Tamil Nadu. And take example, now if you take Sri Lanka, for example, Sri Lanka has some fine, very fine the minerals, including things such as graphite,
Yes.
which will be very useful in the future by 2030 when most cars will be electric cars. So I think there can be synergies such as making the anodes for the electric cars in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
So we need to integrate economically more with India and the rest of the world, of course. I think there's a long way to go forward, of course. But as you mentioned, there's political stability, and then there is real appetite, real hunger, not just by the government but also by the people, saying that for so many years we have not got it right. Now we need to get it right.
Yes. Right. All right. Regarding this, it's very happy to note that political stability is there. When I have been visited to your Sri Lanka last few months and April and now last month also, so the integrity between the Tamilians and Sinhalese also growing up. When I spoke to the Sinhalese and Tamilians who are living very long generation in Sri Lanka, the integrity between the both Tamilians and Sinhalese also growing up, right?
Well, I mean, we did have a war for about 30 years, but it does not mean, if you look at the Tamil population, the majority of the Tamils do not live in the north and east. They live outside the north and east, so they integrate very well with the Sinhala society. And so the war was based on the territorial land and more and finding some sort of an autonomy. I think the some form of meaningful power devolution is on the cards. But also, I think I always say that when there's power devolution, power devolution need not necessarily take place in the periphery. You can have power devolution in the center also, because we want to make our Tamil brethren in Sri Lanka part of Sri Lanka, not part of North and East, but they are part of. They're not necessarily responsible for North and East. They're responsible for whole of Sri Lanka as Sri Lankans. So I think we need to move fast with these reforms, and also I think if the South Indian companies can come and explore Sri Lanka, and also what you see now, I'm sure in your travels you would have noticed that what you see by the media is in wide contrast to what's actually you see in the ground. Yeah. So I would think that the best way, it's not a very long flight from South India to Sri Lanka. So I think the best way to get about is to come and explore Sri Lanka, and also to see the opportunities, particularly when it comes to industry.
Yes, and I would like to get your special New Year greetings to all our Indians investors. Say about in your language.
Well, I hope the 2022 will be a much better year than 2020. I beg your pardon, that 2023 will be much better than 2022. 2022 was a very harsh year. There's many challenges. Yes. I hope that I wish and pray that all our Indian brethren will find peace, love, and prosperity in 2023. hope that not just the Indians but the rest of the world. We have seen terrible war in Europe. We have seen other crises in other parts of Asia. That these will subside, and that the rationality will prevail, and that all humanity can proceed forward and find peace, love, and happiness.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you very much, sir, getting your valuable time and convey our records to all your Sri Lankan brothers and sisters. Sir. Thank you very much. Namaskar, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.